I'll just get rid of the original picture now, since I have the restored version anyway. Strange. Now that I look at them, the lights remind me of something I picked up yesterday. A printed picture of the strange smoky lights. It appears to have been taken somewhere in Conwell Woods. Now that I look at them, they remind me of something I picked up yesterday. It's a bright red flower of some kind. Could be a long shot, but I've never seen a flower like that. Maybe finding out more about where it grows could narrow down where the picture was taken. Hey, E, got a sec?
Sure thing, Kathy. What's...
Any ideas about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
Beats me. Maybe he found what he was looking for. Or it found him.
Did you just quote a tagline from one of those cheesy horror novels?
Maybe.
I wonder what was so special about Lily Myers. Well, besides her being a talented artist who drowned herself in a lake.
I bet there's some secret about her art. Let's hope Charles Wade has some answers.
What do you think of Lily Myers' art?
I actually looked her up this morning, and I couldn't find any records of her being recognized as an artist.
Yeah, I doubt there was ever a chance for that to happen. Wade bought everything shortly after she died. I only got a chance to see this one picture. Wasn't all that bad, but nothing breathtaking.
Well, maybe there's more to her art than meets the eye. Something Wade knew, and we're missing.
Yeah, maybe. So, what's your take on this Charles Wade?
I'm not sure. He sounded like a super nice guy on that tape, but media says that he's a ruthless businessman.
The tape is over 2 decades old. Maybe he's changed.
Either that or he is very different in his private life. Hard to know without actually seeing him.
I should get back to...
Okie dokie.
Makeup check, hair check, horrible mood and contempt for humanity check.
You forgot about your resting scally face.
I totally do not have a... Well,
told you.
Hey, E, got a...
Sure thing.
What do you think about this flower?
It's beautiful. What kind of flower is it?
No idea. That's what I'm trying to find out.
I got a botany book around here somewhere. I could look it up later.
Sure, that would be great, E, thanks.
Anytime.
Hey, E, check this out.
Wow, they're hypnotic. Looks like a will-o'-the-wisp. You know, the spirit of the forest.
Now, that's just silly, Eileen. There has to be a more reasonable explanation for them.
Hey, there's nothing silly about forest spirits. You should talk to Meadow, my Wiccan friend. She's really opened my eyes about these sort of things.
Isn't that the same Meadow who had an intimate relationship with a tree outside her dorm?
Oh, come on. That was just a phase.
Trust me, I've been through every phase in the book. That definitely isn't one of them. I don't need to show her that. I found this at my grandparents' place.
Oh, wait. You stole money from your grandma?
Jesus, no, it's a sentimental thing. Me and Grandpa had this game with pennies when I was a kid.
Oh, so you kept the coin to remember the times? That's adorable.
Oh, shut up. I found this old picture of Grandpa at my grandparents' place.
That's nice. He looks really happy there.
Yep, I wonder what made him leave the Air Force.
He was in a war, you know? That kind of thing tends to scar people for life.
I suppose. I should get back to the investigation.
Okie dokie.
Wow, the The church logo looks pretty similar to the smoky lights. I might have to visit them after all. Things are shaping up. I'm starting to get some good leads on the picture of the 3 lights.
Cool. Is there anything I can help with?
Well, my side of the room is starting to get a bit messy. There's always that.
Haha, I meant with the investigation, silly.
I guess you could try to find out more about these lights. Maybe figure out where that picture was taken.
I know exactly where to start.
Good. I'm gonna get some food now before I pass out.
Okie dokie, I'll grab my books and get cracking.
All right, see you in a bit. Hey.
Hey!
So, any progress with the search?
Yeah, I was able to identify that flower. It's called the red scythe, or Rosea falcus. I discovered that there was a small nature reserve near Conwell Springs, which was established in '89. The red scythe is on their list of endangered plants. I made a photocopy of the botany book page in case you want it later.
That's something. I should go check it out. Maybe I can narrow down the place where that picture was taken.
My thoughts exactly. Here you go. The nature reserve is marked out on this map.
Jeez, you've been busy.
Well, you know, beats homework.
Amen to that. And, good work, Eileen.
Happy to help. So what...
Oh, hang on. I'll go get that.
Okie dokie.
Hello?
This is Erica Wade calling for Kathy Rain.
Speaking.
Miss Rain, this is terribly awkward. I realize now how rude I was before. I wanted to apologize and ask if there is anything I can do.
Apology accepted. You can start by answering a few questions.
Very well.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather that night in '81?
Not really, no. But what I do know is how it destroyed Father.
It did?
Oh, yes. The two of them were great friends once. And when Joseph was hurt, they hadn't been talking for some time. Father always hoped they would be able to reconnect one day. He kept putting it off, believing they had time. But in the end, it never happened.
So, what were things like back when they were still good friends?
Oh, they were like peas in a pod. Always sharing their war stories and laughing together. In a way, Joseph became the uncle I never had. He was around a lot when Father went out on business trips. Later on, I even met you a few times, when you were just a baby.
I don't remember any of that.
Oh, no matter, you were so little then.
Erica, I have to ask, why were you so defensive on the phone earlier when I tried to reach out?
Oh, I don't know, Kathy. Our families haven't been in touch for a long time. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but we all started drifting apart. My guess is that it had to do with Father's growing wealth. Friendship needs common ground, and we started living in different worlds. What happened to your grandfather was the final nail in the coffin. Father just couldn't bear seeing him like that, neither alive nor dead.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky? It may be an Air Force call sign.
I can't say that I do. Father had many friends in the Air Force, but no one I can recall by that name.
What can you tell me about Mr. Wade?
My father is a great man. He has so many ideas, so much left to realize, which makes it hurt so much more to see him like this.
See him like what?
The illness and everything, of course.
Right. Yeah, it must be hard.
Yes, indeed. I wish he wouldn't be so stubborn with his treatment. He could go to any state-of-the-art hospital, but insists on being treated in that backwater clinic in Conwell Springs.
The community clinic in the middle of town?
Yes. It's like he's given up and is just waiting for the inevitable to happen.
What do you know about Lily Myers?
She was a young artist who lived somewhere in Conwell Springs. Killed herself, if I recall correctly. Dreadful thing. But other than that, not much. We never knew the family.
What do you know about Lily Myers' art?
Oh, that little girl had a twisted mind, let me tell you that. Oh, my father used to have a few pieces of hers in his collection. Horrible things. I couldn't understand why he ever decided to procure them in the first place.
You say used to have. Did he get rid of the paintings?
Oh, either that or he put them in storage somewhere. I haven't seen them for years. I never bothered to ask him why. Glad to be rid of them, quite frankly.
Do you know anything about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
It's the one and only church in Conwell Springs. I was baptized there, and I married my husband there.
Anything out of the ordinary about them?
Oh, not really. They seem like a typical church to me.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Very well. Feel free to call back if you have any more questions.
All right, Wade is in Conwell Springs. He's being treated in the clinic. That was Erica Wade. Her father is being treated at the clinic in Conwell Springs.
Being treated? He's sick?
Looks that way. Small miracle they managed to keep it out of the press.
Yeah, I suppose you're returning to talk to him?
It'll have to be tomorrow. It's quite late for that now.
I suppose. Scrabble?
Oh, you're so on. I will crush you.
You're off your game today. Is everything all right?
Oh, shut up. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Oh, up late, thinking about your grandpa and everything?
Not just that, I keep having this bad dream. Well, it's not exactly a dream, it's something that actually happened.
Oh? What is it?
I'm not sure I should tell you.
You can trust me. Whatever it is, I promise I won't judge.
Well, it's your funeral. So, I used to be 16 and also pregnant. Did you have an aneurysm just now, E?
Please, go on.
Well, seeing as how I don't actually have a 5-year-old, you can probably put 2 and 2 together.
You had an abortion.
Sure did. Major pain in the ass too, but hey, couldn't let that pregnancy go untreated.
I'm glad you're telling me, but I really wish you hadn't done that, Kathy. Who was the,
The donor? You wouldn't know him. The two of us would have made terrible parents, though.
I respect your decision, but you know how I feel about this. That guy up there, he's pro-life, and I'm with him.
I get that. I gotta say, you're being really cool about this, E. I was expecting you to clutch your cross, flip the table, and storm off or something.
I'm not a walking stereotype, you know.
Says the red-headed nerd with the glasses.
Ha ha. But Kathy, if you keep having that nightmare, perhaps you should talk to somebody about it.
Maybe. But I doubt obsessing over it is very healthy either. Your turn, E.
Oh, fine. Oh, I play apricot, orange. Yay, bingo. 67 points.
Well, ain't that fucking peachy.
At least it's not sour grapes.
Touche.
A tainted one approaches. Is it time? Yes, a fire that burns so bright. It is almost unbearable to see. Indeed. It seems the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Shall we sculpt some flesh friends, then? Very well. I will attend to the threshold.
Good morning, sunshine.
Please tell me I dreamt all those Scrabble losses last night.
3 times in a row.
Rub it in, why don't you? I'll just go strangle myself now.
Oh, you. Don't be a sore loser. So what's the plan today?
Mr. Wade is the plan. I'll head for the clinic right away. While I'm at it, I'm gonna check out the church and the nature reserve.
Okie dokie. What can I do to help?
Why don't you continue looking into the lights? I have a feeling they're the key to solving all of this. You could also look up the history of Conwell Springs in general, see if anything unusual has been going on.
I'll get right on it.
Great. Thanks, E.
Oh, by the way, don't forget to check out the page I gave you about the red scythe. It's a pretty interesting flower.
Right, yeah. A prominent cliff top near the highway. Likely the most popular tourist spot in the area. Route 70, leading back to the city. It's the nature reserve, where the smoky lights were photographed. Conwell Woods. What were you doing out there, Grandpa? Conwell Lake, where Lily Myers met her demise. One of the oldest Air Force bases in the US. Grandpa was stationed there during the war. That looks like the town area itself. It's a photocopy of a book page with information about the red scythe flower. Here's an interesting segment. Another interesting trait of the red scythe is the smell, which is familiar to that of a pepper. The pollen of the plant has also been known to cause hallucinations in concentrated amounts. Native American tribes harvested and smoked the plant for that reason, but the flower never caught on as a modern recreational drug due to the difficulty of growing it. Hey, E.
Sure thing.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like an okay bunch to me. Just your regular old Christians. My kind of crowd.
That's just it. They seem a bit too normal. And there's that logo, too.
It could just be a coincidence, Kathy. The Holy Trinity is typically portrayed as a triangle.
I don't believe in coincidences, E. I believe in action and reaction.
Gee, you sound like a starship captain. Captain Rain of the USS Dignity, here to save the galaxy.
Oh, please, kill me now. I should get back to—
Okie dokie.
All right, I'm off. Peace out, E.
Okie dokie. Good luck and see you later.
it's full of trash. Figure that. We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing I ever heard of, and totally untrue.
So, what's up with the trash can? Digging for treasure?
Well, I'm just going through a rough patch. By the way, you owe me $10.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Better get those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a stake through the heart.
What do they call you anyway?
Goober. Everyone calls me Goober.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
So, what's your story anyway?
My story?
Yeah, don't all bums have a story?
For your information, this is all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on. I have starred in dozens of Hollywood movies. The Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, The Usual Surprises, Natural Born Killers.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
So, tell me about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
I'm not sure I want to know what Jacob's Bladder is about, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder. During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week and he dies from a ruptured bladder.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky?
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam. Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Why do I even bother? Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in '81?
I most certainly do.
What? Tell me.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
I should have known better.
Oh, I saw it, man. A big, huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taking the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's why he was so messed up when they put him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Open your mind, man.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac the priest is, anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
What kind of weird shit?
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Interesting. Do you know anyone else who was involved in the old church?
Not really. I tried to stay as far away from those people as possible. Ask Isaac about it. He's a friendly guy.
All right. I might do that. Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still walking, at least.
Do you know what this is?
Chinese fireworks, of course. I grew up in Shanghai. I know what I'm talking about. They used to call me Dong Pai, meaning round-eyed baldy. Those were some rough years. I miss the food, not to mention the women. Got 2 kids down there now, Maylin and Little Ping.
Time to hit the off switch now, buddy. Okay, that's enough serious questions for now.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye.
No thanks. I have better things to do. Smoking allowed. Guess this place is a bit behind on healthcare regulations. Excuse me, nurse? Hey, nurse!
Yeah?
They don't pay you much, huh?
No shit. What do you want?
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
I need to get rid of her somehow. Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
So, how good an actor are you?
The best. The very best.
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies, and that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I know it. She always gave me these strange looks. I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
Definitely Jacob's Bladder.
I'm feeling the pressure. Oh, Jenny, everything is forgiven. You and me were like peas and carrots. I'm just so full of your love that I think I'm about to burst. Jenny, where did you go? Oh, I don't feel so good. Thank you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
That wasn't really an electrifying performance. I'll have to intervene somehow. So,
What about?
natural bald killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school. One day, he has simply had enough of all the teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps and heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
How about the usual surprises?
Business as usual. I can't believe you guys did all this for me. You know, what's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing.
Nurse, he's seizing!
Oh, shit!
Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later. Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse. It's labeled boot. Crap. Looks like I have to figure out the username some other way. Gotcha.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
That's not what this is about. It's personal.
Sounds serious. Perhaps I should ask Claude to produce his gun.
You know, Charles, the person most likely to be harmed by a gun tends to be its owner.
Very true. That's something the Japs who captured me learned the hard way.
Did my grandfather bail you out then too, or was that one of the few times where he didn't save your sorry ass?
Hold on there. Explain yourself.
You're willing to listen to something other than your own voice? I'm stunned. I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph, but he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
It's hardly Grandpa's fault. He did everything he could to set my father straight.
Oh, I never claimed to doubt Joseph's commitment, but I'm not going to ignore his flaws either. Your grandfather often used his heart when he should have used his head.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I believe it is, objectively. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks. You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sioux and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess, since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
Do you know what this is?
A flower. Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
Do you know what this key opens?
You must be truly desperate if you ask random people a question like that.
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran, taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
I don't need to show him that. Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
Looks like Wade brought some of his old tunes with him. A private phone. Wade must get special privileges here. Just some boring landscape paintings. That guy is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day.